Hello and welcome. Good evening to another PLAMonday. My name is Ede Tocek and you are watching live from the workshop Moe University. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Another building stream, Plastic Model Monday. I'm still here working on my architect grand scale. To be specific, I will now continue to paint her armor and her black parts, her underwear, so to say. Because when I built this kit a couple days ago in my New Year's Eve stream, I've noticed that the quality is a bit questionable. I mean, of course, the larger scale had its benefits. To be specific, that I can handle the parts. The parts are rather big, so it was easy to build this and to click it together. But then on the other hand, it also now has a ton of surface, and you see that it's a unpainted plastic model, even more than with the smaller scale. So I decided to paint it because it's just gray and black. Those are two colors I had in store. Because, let's be honest, this is my second or third model kit. And building is okay, it's not that complicated. But when it comes to building, another big part is, of course, making all the details and painting the kit. And yeah, I'm not an expert when it comes to this, by far. Even I'm a bit anxious about it, because I don't want to ruin the kit. And I also lack proper equipment. So I don't have any model painting paints, the fancy stuff from the name brands. So for this paint job, I just use basic acrylic paint from the department store. And I just noticed that there is no music. Let me turn on the music. Okay, better. So we have a bit of background noise, even though it gets me copyright flagged on YouTube. I mean, this is like royalty-free music, but for some reason, at least the copyright is notice the music. So, but it didn't have any negative effects on my channel. So before we start, a few announcements. Very important. A few announcements. So first of all, I wanted to paint a bit off stream yesterday here in the workshop because I had time. Yeah, it's crazy. Christmas is over and it's a new year, and all of a sudden I have time. So it's totally new to me. For the last 2 months I was very busy with work, and suddenly I come home at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I think to myself, what to do with all this free time? So I wanted to paint a bit off stream, but then I fell into a rabbit hole. I wanted to set up a few things in OBS, and I spiraled down into like stream essentials, because I'm also new to the whole streaming thing, not only to model kits but also to streaming in general. And so there are still many things not currently set up proper that you might expect from other streamers and content creators. And the thing that I wanted to look into was like bots, not the nasty ones, but the helpful bots. So I looked into the Nightbot options and played around a bit, and then I discovered that I used stream elements for certain overlays, and they have also a bot feature. And for some reason they promised me, or there are like videos out there that people say you can rename the bot name, so you can have a custom bot name. So I was instantly intrigued, because I wanted to have my bot named like the mascot of Mo University, Toshiko, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. So there is like video tutorials, but the frustrating part is that I don't know if you know this, but when you watch a video tutorial and they say like click on this button and then select this and that, and you don't even have this option. And this is where I struggle. So they say, okay, click on this button, I click on it, and then I have a menu, but the option I have to select isn't there. So very frustrating. So the bot is now set up. So you can, I guess you can like exclamation mark commands, and you can have a list about all the comments you can type. There are like the few standard ones, but I also added a few custom ones, a few nice ones. And yeah, let's see how this works. I'm also now streaming, this is like a multi-stream for Twitch and YouTube, but I'm now using like the built-in streaming plugin for OBS Live, that is also somehow provided by Stream Elements. I don't know this stuff. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but it's now like direct in OBS, so I don't have to use Restream anymore. For some reason I can still use the Restream chat and have like both comments from YouTube and Twitch here, so that's fine. Yeah, and I think it works great. Let me check if I'm on. Yeah, so here is YouTube, that's fine, and then we have like Twitch. Okay, also fine. Very cool. The bitrate is a bit high. I guess I have to still bring down the bitrate a bit, but yeah. Okay. So, okay, and then there is a second thing I added yesterday to the stream, or to the streaming overlay. If you a keen-eyed watcher, you might have noticed that in the left corner it now says parts that kiss the floor, and there is like a counter, a 0. And I thought, why not add a little Batsu game to my stream to punish myself every time, because it's a like model building trope, or like a thing that is bad karma when it happens, when you drop something on the floor. And especially there is this meme, like when you drop a small Gunpla part on the floor, that it disappears. And of course it's always bad if you drop something on the floor. Not even does it look unprofessional, because I have to grab down and search for it. It also can disappear, and it might get damaged. And yeah, especially here when there is like a hard floor, a tile floor. And yeah, so I thought to myself, whenever something hits the ground, the counter will go up. And I guess this wouldn't be like so bad. It wouldn't be a Batsu game. And every time the counter goes up, it's like 5 bits. So at the end of my streams, I will rate another channel, like someone that is also streaming in the model building section, I guess, like another fellow creator. And yeah, we will rate them. And I will donate like 5 bits for each counter. So if the counter is like 5 pieces that hit the floor, I will 5 times 5 is 25, so I will donate or give them 25 bits. So as a little punishment of myself. So yeah. Okay, I'm also using the new headphones in combination with the headset. I know it looks like one piece, but it's not. You can, I can remove this, yeah. And I also went back to having the monitor right in front of me, because that's better. I tried to have it like here on the side, so that you don't see like this. But honestly, first of all, there is the chat, so you won't see much anyway. And also it's better if I have the chat right in front of me, so I can maybe react a bit better. Okay, so I guess this concludes announcements, and now off to the build. Oh, yeah, for one more thing. First of all, or two more things. It's not only parts that hit the floor, but also like tools. So if I drop my nipper, what's also kind of dangerous because they are also very fragile, or like drop my brush or something else, I will add a counter. So keep an eye on that. And yeah, let me see. What's now? Tea. Add a bit of tea. It's a green tea. Today's beverage, today's streaming beverage is a green tea. It's one of the Christmas selections still, because I have to get rid of the Christmas teas. It's a bit ridiculous if it's like February and you're still drinking like those cinnamon, orange, berry, heavy, fruity Christmas trees. Christmas trees? Teas? Christmas teas. Okay, so... But it's good. I like those heavy fruit teas. This is a green tea, but still. Okay, so let me see what's the camera preset. I have had to rearrange my OBS a bit, so I have to get used to it again. But let's see. Presentation. Is presentation set up in the correct way? No, it isn't. So let me see. Let me get this straight. I have to... I mean, I could have done this off stream, but well, let me see how to get this in focus. Come on. No, it's sharp. No, it's sharp. Okay. So, but like, because this is the presentation area. So our poor architect is a bit hairless and it's missing an arm, but I have to dismantle her. And yeah, so now I can make this camera. So okay, so now you can see my face. So, and I've already painted a few pieces. For example, this one. Let me see. This one. So this is the. I got this. This is an already finished painted piece in gray. So it's a bit darker, of course. But first of all, that's the color I mixed, so I have to stick with it. And also I think it's representing the box art a bit better. And then you can see I've dropped a bit of panel lining ink into those canyons, into those engravings. And on the below part, there is this square that I masked. This is the original color of the kit. I will have to paint this in a bit of a blue shade, I think. It's a reflector or maybe a light of some kind. But you can clearly see this little square is the original tone of the kit, and all things around is is like painted. So of course the backside is not painted yet, but I think this looks quite good. I don't know if I will add much shade to it, maybe a bit, but I will not go like crazy with it. I wanted to have this relatively clean, so I will not add any weathering effects, even if it's tempting, but I will not do it. And also I will not add heavy shading to it, because then I'm afraid I will start like one of those 2D comic paint jobs with like heavy contrast and high contrast and heavy shadows and stuff like that. So I want to get it like simple for my actually first paint job. So yeah, and let me see if I can show you all the other parts. Let me just save this as a camera preset so that we can use it later on. So there are the other parts in the background. I try to get them in focus, like so. And also you can see this is like unpainted, this is painted. And this part here, I don't know if you can see it so well. This is one layer of paint versus like 5 or I guess 6 of them. So it's quite a lot. So even though the paint dries instantly, I have to paint it like 5 or 6 times because I want to have really thin layers on it. So yeah, and first of all I have to sand all the parts with like an 800 grit, because there was one part like this one here. Let me see how to get it in focus. Oh, come on, like this, and I sanded it, and I forgot this part here. I forgot it to sand, and this is not really visible, but it's like on the inside of her arm, so if you go to certain poses you might see it, so you have to paint it. And I forgot to sand this, and I thought, okay, too bad, I will still try to paint it, but yeah, forget it. There is literally no acrylic paint that sticks to the part without sanding. So I have to sand all of them, like get them. It's not like rough, but it's a bit scratchy. It also, when you sand them and then you clean them with like water and soap, it instantly is like matte. It has a matte finish to it. I also will sand the body parts, excluding her face, because that wouldn't look so good, and I will just sand them to get it a bit more like matte. I will not paint the body parts because I'm afraid I will mess it up. Maybe I will try it on a runner to wipe it off with some nitro, because normally nitro makes plastic like very dull and very matte, and maybe this looks good. I will test it on a runner piece. And once everything is finished and painted, I will panel line it, of course, and then I will spray it with a matte finish, like a... Oh, thank you for the following, Lord Bob the Builder. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the following. So, okay, I will say enough with the talking. Let's build some stuff, or let's paint some stuff. Okay, let me get this into, let's see, was this the right, let's see, yeah, okay, better. So, and with this I have to go here. So, okay, let's build and paint and build and paint and sand and paint. So it's not the most entertaining thing to do, but it's important. First I have to find a point where I can hold this. Okay. Where is the gray? Where is the gray? I'm also hoping that I have enough paint. I didn't mix much because I was unsure if I really paint this kit, but hopefully this is enough. Hopefully. So of course, first layer is always the worst. And it's so tempting to use more and more paint, because you want to have it to max out the opacity instantly, but you don't do this. Just really thin layers of paint, really thin. Just really thin layers. So this is totally different from my normal paint jobs, because normally I use like a ton of acrylic paint on my backdrops, because I want to get things done. And normally, as a backdrop in a figure photo, it looks okay. Doesn't have to be like very clean. Quite the contrary, if it doesn't match the quality of the figure, it stands in stark contrast to the actual objective of the photo. So what I'm trying to say is, if the background is too good, it distracts from the actual figure, from the model. So it's not that big of a deal if the backdrop sucks. Of course they don't suck, but I hope you know what I mean. It's nice. By the way, since I have now a bit more time, I also was able to finish 2 new figure reviews on my YouTube channel. That's very cool, I think, because I did a bit of procrastination, because I wasn't sure how they will turn out. It's a new format I'm trying for like smaller items and smaller figures where I don't have a ton to say, basically, and where I just sit down and basically give my first impression. So this also implies that I don't have a script, because my other reviews are like scripted. So there is no rambling, and I have to do a ton of takes until I'm satisfied with one. But for this like easier and like more casual kind of review, I don't use scripts. So okay, what does the Lord say? Paint dry grass grow as paint dry grass grow as OG as content gets. Okay. Yeah, sure. I guess the category is like has its roots in painting Warhammer figures. So there is like no real dedicated figure, anime figure building or even photography section. So I will just use this one. I mean, it's better than YouTube. In YouTube you have to use like, I don't know, I use entertainment, because all the categories are like so global, so common, like people, animals, school, education, fun. What's even this? Some flow, improve, or retader work better. I'm not quite sure what this means, but yeah, I basically try to get as little as possible paint on the kit. And yeah, if I do this for longer now, I will definitely get some like proper paint equipment, like the good Mr. Hobby stuff. It's like the gold standard, at least for plastic model kits. But the thing is, when I moved out from Vienna last year, I also like threw away all my old acrylic paints. Not that I had much, because when I do a figure photo set, I look what paints I need, what colors and shades, and then I just buy them, and when I run out, I'm out. So I basically use this only for one project, so I didn't have a huge selection of paint, and so I wanted to start fresh, and so I threw out all the old paints. But now I don't have many of them, so I'm glad that this is just gray and black. It's very very easy to get those paints. I'm also eyeing for like airbrush set for the longest time, but then again, I think it's just another tool that might complicate things a bit, because let's be honest, it sounds easy and awesome in theory, but then you have to clean it, you have to mix the paint, and you have to learn the techniques. So I don't know if this would help much with my overall goals, because my goal is not to become the best model builder. My goal is to make good figure photos. So everything else is just a step on the way. I'm also curious how the paint will cover up those gaps, those part gaps, because I just built this the normal way without like model building paste and putty, or what is it called, or dissolving runners in like plastic cement and press it together and all those fancy techniques. I just built this. I struggled to keep up with my friend who also built a kit next to me, and he was like way faster, even despite the fact that he built a 1/12 scale and I'm building this huge grand scale. But he also has way more experience, so yeah. Let the paint flow to level before it dries, reducing brush marks. Oh. Okay. Let's try this. I mean, this is very relaxing, I have to say. First I thought this would be boring to work on those things without like any music or like my videos or like shows to watch in the background, but with those gentle sounds, it's a very relaxing task. only thing I did before I started painting was I watered down the acrylic paint, because the department store acrylic paint was way too thick. But still, I guess you can go a little bit more watery, but then it would require even more layers. Honestly, I don't want to spend like a crazy amount of painting this kit. But then again, the more time I spend with one, the more money I save, because I don't have to buy new ones just for the sake of content. So last Friday I had my first build stream that didn't include plastic model kits here from the workshop, and I tried to build a pillar, a marble pillar for a figure photo from scratch, and yeah, it was a mixed result. I still have to come up with a way to do the end part of those drainage channels, and also have the 3D printed parts as well. So I guess I will cover them with clay, because the 3D printed parts do look okay, but they are not really high resolution because I scaled them up quite a bit, because most of the 3D models you find online are for like tabletop and stuff, and when I go like to a 1/7, 1/6 scale, I have to scale them up, and so the model gets a bit garbagey. But I guess I will just try to cover it all with clay, and to get a nice texture. And yeah, but this was like a whole different experience, because other than building stuff here on the table, I have to move around in the workshop. That's also the reason why everything here is wireless and the cameras can move around. Because let's be honest, for the build stream here it isn't really necessary. But I really want to have this a nice display kit, because it will end up in my PC case. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Last year I built this PC and I was thinking, oh, maybe next year I will upgrade the RAM a bit, because I was too cheap back then to buy like 128 gigabyte. I only bought like 64. And now I put a figure in there because RAM are not in the budget anymore, so I mean, I wanted to have a figure in my PC, and it had to be a larger one, like at least 1.6, 1.4 would even be better. But then I looked at all the available 1.4 scale figures, and yeah, most of the time they are just bunny figures and they don't really speak to me. So yeah, I ended up with this architect kit. And yeah. So once it's finished, I might make a short review about the kit, and then it goes into the PC case. But honestly, I'm quite amazed how well this goes. I would have thought that the paint is not sufficient. It won't stick to the model, but honestly, really quite nice. And if it's not perfect, I can still say, oh, it's a combat robot. It has to be a bit unperfect. It has to be a bit scratched and damaged, battle scars. I mean, I guess still those are metal parts, so metal parts always get scratched or dented. I guess I also have to paint her hair, because they also don't look very good. They look really plasticky, the hair, sadly. I also played with the idea to remove the gaps on the head, because they are quite ugly. But then I remembered that I have to keep them, because you can split the head apart and change the faceplates, so yeah. It's your story, tell it how you want, but no reason needed to get a waifu kit. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is a waifu kit. I mean, most of the time I don't even like watch the source material, like the anime or the series, when I buy figures. I just buy them because I think they look cool, and not just they look cool on a like aesthetic base, because simply they speak to me when I see them, and I think, oh, I know exactly what type of photo I want to shoot with them, and then I order them. I mean, sometimes I order stuff I have actually seen and know about, but not all of the time. So I don't have anything against the practice of buying or ordering stuff you are not a huge fan of. I mean, you can still enjoy those things to a certain degree. I mean, sometimes I feel a bit weird when I like wear like shirts of characters or like bands I don't even listen to, simply because I like the style. So I'm just pretending to be a fan, or it maybe is received. When people get the impression you might be a fan of something, when in reality you just like the art style, or you just like the idea in general. So yeah. Necha Musume, so it counts. Yeah, sure. So, okay. So, let's see. This part here is a bit interesting because according to the instructions, this is black, a black mold, but this part here, this upper part, just like from here to here, has to be gray. So they cheaped out and just made it one mold with one color, when in reality, on the painted picture, we can see those are like two. So everything I have to do by myself. So I guess it's masking time. Where is my knife? There is the knife. So I guess the screw is still gray, but the other parts are black, so I have to work around. Let's see. Something like this. Should I try to cut it? I guess. Multi-heat yield the best result. Let's see. Okay. Not so bad. Still a bit missing here. Okay, so now I'm quite curious how the gray will cover up the black parts. The most real picture of a model product are resin conversions. One thing you learn fast in Plamo is that all promo pics are either pre-painted or CGI, no company for those snap builds. Yeah, I thought so. Because look at this. I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, I've seen like real builds from like experienced builders that are crazy detailed and crazy painted, but yeah, I guess it's easier that way. So let's see, should I use another brush? I don't know, it's a small part. I mean, I have so many brushes and I only use one, isn't that? It's a bit unfair. But I have to unglue it. Also have to be very careful not to drop a thing, because dropping things costs money. I mean, I don't know if the guide would count, but still, let's see. Wow, this looks so ugly when the base color doesn't match the paint at all. So anxious. So yeah, this has to be improved by a lot, but I guess I have to let it dry. So, let's see. So those parts are basically finished. I can work on them a bit. And then I want to start with the panel lining on the finished parts. They have to be very precise, because since it's now painted with acrylic paint, I cannot simply remove the panel lining ink with paint thinner, because otherwise the gray paint will wend off as well, and that wouldn't be very good. I also do hope that once it's finished, I can reassemble it without scratching or damaging it. And for the moving parts, I'm curious how much do I paint them, because if I paint the whole thing and I move the joint, I'm quite sure the paint will get scratched off. So But then again, I'm not a very experienced person when it comes to posing either. I have to hand this over to my friend. He can do really cool figure poses and Gampler poses. So I told him, like, some people get like a cleaning personal or like a gardener, but I will get somebody who poses my figures. Professional figure poser. Why is this so loud? What's up with the music? Bring it down a bit. Bring the music down. I wonder that my OBS controller on the phone stays on all the time. Normally it glitches out and get a connection error. It basically tells me that I have to buy a Stream Deck as well. God, this hobby is so expensive. I'm basically also on the search for a second TV in the studio to have a monitor, because the studio is awesome, but when I sit there and stream and I have nobody to man the PC and like control the stream, I can't even see the live footage. And I guess with a TV on a rolling stand, I can mitigate this a bit. So I'm now on the lookout for a mid-size cheap television set. To monitor the stream. At least last Sunday I recorded a video, and I hope the sound is now in sync, because it was a bit off by a few frames, but I dialed it in yesterday. Or just use a tablet or phone to mirror the stream. Yeah, I thought of this. I mean, phone, yeah, it's easy. We did this on New Year's Eve with the chat. It worked okay, but then I'm getting older by the minute, so a phone is so small. So I had to use a tablet, or yet better, like a laptop, or like one of those, like I had a Surface once. And I was toying with the idea to buy a new Surface, because it's like a tablet and PC in one. But then again, they are pretty expensive, so yeah. And also, I want to like moderate and concentrate on the content and not so much on the technical side. So, I mean, I guess I will just, ask a friend to helm the battle station and watch over the stream and do all the editing. So yeah, I mean, basically I might be able to even like send the signal over the network, because it's like NDI. So the person wouldn't even have to be like here in the studio. But then again, I'm not sure how this might work with my relatively normal internet connection. I mean, I bought this control stick for the PTC cameras, and I was a bit bummed out that it just controls the camera. I thought it would be also a video mixer, but of course it just moves the cameras around, and you can switch between the cameras, but it only is like for the movement part, so it isn't a video switcher. So, yeah. But then again, streaming from the studio wouldn't be the main focus. And if I record stuff, I can just simply like record all the sources and put it together in the edit later. I mean, last year when I built the studio, I also watched into DaVinci. It's such a good program. I'm such an idiot that I didn't like try this any earlier in my video editing career. Like, stick with Sony Vegas for the longest time. Mainly because I didn't want to learn new things. Whenever I sat down and worked on a project, I wanted to work on the project, not do like stupid tutorials. But now with the new studio, I sat down and say, okay, I have to learn this. Never was a big fan of Premiere. After Effects it's okay, but Premiere was always like, ugh, yuck. But Resolve is so good. And it's free. That's the best part. I mean, you can pay. It's not even crazy expensive if you pay the full license. But the amount of stuff you get for free is crazy. It's like OBS. I mean, it's also hard to believe that this is like an... I mean, it's in the title, it's open broadcast software, but it's still crazy that this is like a freeware program everyone can use. But then again, I have to like spend 1 day a week just learning about streaming things now, to come up with new overlays and custom stuff, and learning about all the tools and gizmos you can use. So it's almost like going back to school, where you have a schedule, like you streaming on Monday, learning on Tuesday, building on Wednesday. So I mean, once the weather improves, I can also go back to physical education in this more university. God, I miss spending time outside, riding my bike. mean, now that I see all those like parts that I can remove and like paint, I'm like think this must be awesome for cosplay people. So just ban the bots. Because I guess if you just want to have this as a cosplay, you can look at the parts and just scale them up by a ton. But it's the same with the figure reviews. When I started them, quite a few cosplayers commented on the videos and said it's very useful to see like the figure from all angles when they are like on a turntable, so they can see how it looks from the back or from certain angles you might not see in the promotional pictures. And honestly, I've never thought that somebody would use it like this. Such a big part. Don't even know where I already was with the paint. Sorry. So would it be more effective to sand all the pieces and then paint all the pieces in one color and then do a second color? Yes, but then it wouldn't be even more tedious to watch and also to work on, so I just want to have a bit more variety, even for myself. And so I just hop a bit around, do one thing, then another one, in no particular order. And also, since I'm not that experienced, I want to try things, because if they don't work, I can stop right there and, you know, do something else, or just go upstairs and lay down and cry. That's a bit much paint. I also have to like buy some nice but also expandable clothes for the, at least for the build streams in the workshop, because normally I just wore really old worn out shirts when I'm off camera, because at any minute now I could like get them dirty with some paint or dust or something else. But now on camera I can just look like a hobo, but I'm also want like don't want my finest shirts and trousers to go dirty. And so, yeah. Okay, second layer on this black part. This does interest me. So, let's see if this gets any better, or if we can leave it right there. I mean, I guess it's better now, but still lots of black shining through. This is the second layer. I guess with those parts I need at least 5 layers. To have them match the other parts. But yeah, I mean, from a distance it already looks nice, but wet paint always looks nice, and once it dries it looked like shit. It's like a wet car, also looks clean, and once it dries you notice there is still dust on it. God, my car looks worse. It looks so ugly because it's winter, it's salt on the street. Okay, let's have a sip of the tea. And now for the panel lining. I think I will do this piece here. Let's see, so that you can appreciate this. Come all the way in. Get it in focus. So I guess that's it. And let's see. I'll just a small gravity does the work for me. Okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but I can work with that. I have to repaint this. And now for those sidelines. They are a bit more tricky. Oh, so nice. So nice. Frame? No. It's the bad part when you zoom in so much that the frame is so narrow. Okay, that one didn't quite work as well. Lots of spillage. Okay. Can I scrub this off? No. Just have to paint over it. But I guess I'll let this dry a bit. Meanwhile, I can remove the masking tape. Let's see. Okay, very satisfying. Like this. So I have to paint over this part. Where is my paint? Did I close it? I closed the paint? Really? I was so... This is black. Okay. I mean, it doesn't help that I use like small shampoo test thingies, and it says on the thing like chocolate shampoo and like happy hippie and like rose garden and stuff like that. Okay. So, is there any parts that need repainting? Okay. I mean, I guess this part bugs me. Not quite good. Okay. I think. That's not as bad. So let me bring this back a little and continue with the lining. But before we do this, let me check about the stream. Is it still on? Yes, yes, and it's also on YouTube. That's fine. Bitrate still a bit too high, but doesn't really matter. So let me see. Let me just check what's the weather outside. Let me see if this works. So like minus 3.8 degrees Celsius, light snow, wind is blowing from the south. So basically what this means, that once this stream ended, like at midnight in my time zone, I have to go outside and blow some snow. Because tomorrow I have to use the car. But yeah, panel lining, I guess. I think so. Let's see. Those parts. There are those screws. And then I just drop a bit of paint in them. This has to stay like black. Okay. This is black. And then I mean, I will just try this. Let me try. What does happen? What could possibly go wrong if I just drop? Okay. And it's a bit much, I have to say. I guess I can somehow maybe how does one do this? Get the paint out. Yes. Very nice. Just lets the details pop a bit more. Lining ink, there we are, here. I mean, I guess I can just fill the inner part with black ink. Doesn't look so bad. Okay, now it's a bit much. Luckily she only has like quite a dozen of them, so no biggie. Oh shit. Yeah, no, that's not good. Okay. I mean, it definitely has more contrast now, and isn't that the main goal behind panel lining? To get a bit of contrast in there. Okay, let's do the other side and see if we can do this a bit more precise. Let's bend this way. Oh, the weather report even says like the air pressure. So fancy. I mean, I guess I can just paint the middle part black with like black paint. Don't use this runnery, watery ink to do so. How does the other side look? Not much better, to be honest. But then a bit better, a bit more contrasty. Those are quite hard to open. So I guess I can. I mean, that's not so bad. I will just try to get a bit of black in there. That's no paint, that's water. Oh. It didn't hit the floor. It didn't hit the floor. I catched it on my lap. No, touchy on the ground. Did not count, did not count. Counter is still at 0. It's impressive. So okay, I will just use this brush and try to get a bit of black in there. Okay, yeah. Okay. Other side as well. Okay. From a bit far away, this does look decent. Could use a bit more panel ink here in the middle section. Okay. So I guess I'll let this dry and then just try to paint a bit over it. Okay, that's good. Meanwhile, I can remove this masking tape. Oh. And add a new one for the black stripe that this part requires. And this doesn't look so bad. Or not just. And now the question is, if I mask the painted part, I mean, it's not hard to do, but I'm anxious to press this on any harder because once I peel this off, I might just rip off the part beneath, the paint beneath, and mess it all up. So I guess this is an option. This is a valid fear to have. Since, whoa, whoa. Almost. The parts want to go away. They want to flirt with the floor. They want to try the counter. Bad parts. Bad parts. Okay, now let's see. Just have to okay, I guess that's enough. Let's see. With like real paint. No, that's gray. So fairly treated Hamish shampoo is gray. And the other one is black. Okay. So let's see. Should I make this brush a bit more? Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, this is like crazy effort for my taste. Normally I don't do this with my figure backgrounds. Normally I just paint without any tape, without any rules. Okay, so there is a second part that is exactly the same. So I have to do it all over again. Great. So I guess I don't bother with the middle section, with the middle hole, because I will just paint it later. I just have to do the outer parts. It's not so bad until now. It's actually pretty decent. Okay, I guess I just leave it like that, let it dry a bit. And just, let's see, this part. This part has just some grooves, so this should be easy. But then again, the grooves are now like covered with paint because I just added a few layers of gray. So they aren't as deep as they were. So this works on the technical side, but of course there is lots of spillage. And I don't know really how to remove it. Other than just, you know, paint over it. Nope. But I guess this was the question all along. How I handle this. Let's see, what does water? Oh, water does quite well. At least for the bigger parts. Not as bad. I mean, I could use the thinner, but then kiss the paint goodbye, I would say. Okay, so the rest has to be done by repainting it. And if this doesn't work, I just say it's weathering. It's a weathering effect. It's supposed to look like this. Okay. Can I do the other side? I have to start all over again on the other side. Oh no. Okay. Stay. My fingers are getting dirtier and dirtier by the minute. Let's see. If I'm lucky, I can. Yes, use the gravity to have it flow in one direction. Okay. Okay. So now once again, I can remove the masking tape from this part and paint this black stripe. Is this enough? Oh, maybe a bit extra. Just some small parts. I guess this is good enough. You stay there. So secondly, I will just leave it with like 2 layers of black. Guess that's enough. On here. And one here. So what about this part here? How can I clean this up? How can I clean my fingers? Let's see. Should I use this brush to clean it up? Oh no, I just use this one. So I need the gray. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nothing hit the floor. Nothing hit the floor. Just getting messier and messier by the minute. Why is my phone turned off? Ah, there is the lovely connect error. Once again, it tells me to invest in a streaming deck. So, okay, let's see. Gray, 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 gray. Gray color. And let me put this in my hand. I'm basically just paint this by hand without touching the grooves. And hopefully by the end there will still be a bit black left inside the groove, but not so much outside. So I went in there a bit. Damn it. But then again, maybe I can use a marker for them. That's the second option I have. Just use a marker. I guess I will try this. Once everything of this is like finished and dried, I'll just try to use a Gundam marker on them. Must be way easier. So at least I also have seen the alert once in this stream, so I know that it's functioning. Because for some reason I didn't see them in OBS when they came direct from Twitch. But now that I use like this OBS Live plugin, I see them. And I have to say, it's quite a nice experience to have everything in one place. Don't have to worry as much. Have a good chat. Only problem is that the chat is read only. That's a bit unfortunate. But other than that, I like it. Let's see the status. 2 hours already. 2 hours in. 2 hours in the stream. Nice. Yeah, I would say it is different than before, but I will still need some detailing on this part. But I can remove the masking tape from here as well, hopefully. Because that's the dangerous part, where the piece might kiss the floor. Very nice. I mean, it looks so much better than unpainted. Even my beginner skill, it looks so much better. Okay, what's about those parts? This is already like 2 layers of black, then I will add another one here. And then I want to remove the tape, because I'm really anxious that I peel off the paint as well. Okay. So now for the moment of truth. How does this look? Okay. Honestly, not good. The masking tape did do nothing. Yuck. Okay. Oh well. I mean, at least I have a black stripe now, so that's good. Could have done this by hand. Don't need no fancy tape. All I need is my hand and my sharp eye. Steady hand. So I wonder if there is a limit on how many layers of paint you can actually apply, like until it gets worse again. Does this need to go around here? I mean, I can paint it like this. Once everything is dried up again, I can use a marker. And have this black part a bit extended to the side. think this is what the mold is telling me to do. So on the other side there was a bit spillage left. And what's this? Is this a dust core or something? Some bit of paper. Maybe from the masking tape? Oh. Isn't it nice when you put like extra effort into something and it actually does nothing? I can paint this by hand. Okay. So now the $1,000,000 question is, how is the other side? Is it exactly the same? Is it worse? Let's see. Remove that top. Key-worthy moment here. Oh. It's struggling. It's a bit nicer. Still not completely clean, but nicer. Nicer. The rest will be over painted and no one will know that it was there. Oh, you got in a car accident? Oh, doesn't matter. We overpainted. I would say this paint job gives the kit a personality. It's just my style. It's not bad, it's just my style. I do it this way. I like it. It's like top 10 excuses. No. Okay. Now a bit here on the side. Like I said, she only does have like a dozen of those screw indents, so totally easy job to do. It's not tedious at all. Guess we will complete this like next year at New Year's. Also, I just noticed that there is very little paint inside those holes. Mostly because of the fact I wasn't able to sand them well, so of course the paint doesn't stick to the model. So hopefully nobody looks into those silly holes and say, oh, there is no paint inside, you forgot to paint it. I can see a different shade of gray. The humanity. Okay. Well, let's leave it like this. And then I still have to correct the head part a bit more. What about this part? With the conversion from black to gray. Let's paint this once again. One more layer. Okay, I mean, it's the third layer and it starts to look decent, but then again, I have to do much more, like here. That does not look good at all. Really high stakes job painting those fine details. Can you believe that some people would prefer like sitting on front of the TV on the couch and like watch Netflix all night instead of sitting here and try to match one line with one color and the other side with another one, with a clear stroke, clear division between two colors. How boring. It's like a real-life Squid Game. One wrong move and it's all over. I even have some prize money, but still the counter stays at 0. There was one like close call where I catch the, what was it, the masking tape? Or was it the, I hope it was not the panel liner, because I think if this glass bottle drops on the floor it will shatter. And then it's like jackpot. Then I will rage quit. If the bottle falls down and splatters on the ground and covers my whole floor with black ink. Instant rage quit. Okay. So let's see. This part is good. This part is good. This part needs a bit of paint. Whew. But I can use a larger brush. There's some. I'm also getting used to those headphones. First of all, to hear myself with a ever so slight delay. It's not as big as with the earbuds, but still there is a delay. But then again, it's also acceptable when it comes to comfort. I mean, it's still a bit, there's still a bit of pain when the headphone presses against the, you know, the rim of the headset and presses against my ear. But it's acceptable. I can tolerate this pain. Keeps me motivated. It's like a small electric shock. And definitely better than the earbuds that fell out of my ear constantly. And when they didn't fall out of my ear, it felt like they would fall out. So it was very, very distracting. And also there was a huge delay. So I had to turn off monitoring for myself, which of course wouldn't be a big problem, but then again, at least now I can monitor my voice and see if the microphone dies, when the battery dies at some point. I mean, there is the backup microphone that is, I would say, for like the ASMR. Let me see if we can pick up the pencil stroke. No, that's a bit too soft, even for the good microphone. I mean, we can hear the sanding part. And yeah, the gaps between those two parts where they are fitted together, they get smaller. Of course, with every layer they get smaller, but they don't really disappear. So if would have this made really clean, I would have to fill them with some model kit paste or something else. But then it would be even more messier, and I have to sand off the excess material. Kinda annoying. I'm curious how this will look after it's finished with the matte, like, was it called, like, top coat. That was the specific term, with the matte top coat. if it will like darken or brighten up the colors a bit. Because it's normally also a thing I don't use, top coat. Because let's be honest, for the backdrops it would be a waste of money. Because usually, once the photo is taken, I swiftly dismantle and even destroy the backdrops. So I don't store them, I don't keep them, at least most of them. Sometimes there is a nice piece that might be worthwhile keeping, but most of the time, especially like the base structure, the walls, the floor, the ceiling, those can get pretty big pretty fast, so it would be a pain to keep them and store them. And I did this with a few sets before, and I realized that yeah, I can store them, no problem, but I will never use them again. And at some point, it's like with old photos or with a junk drawer, at some point you will revisit this, you will open a box in your basement or in the attic, and you see, oh, all those old sets, and then you get all sentimental and you say, oh, I can't throw this away, and then you keep it again and again and again, but you never use it, so it's kind of pointless. Didn't drink much today because it's almost midnight. This tastes really cold. Let me reheat it. Okay. I have to stay hydrated. So I guess I will go on for another 10 to 15 minutes, and then I will just hop on to another stream, and yeah, maybe raid someone. But first, this huge part, this is like the back part of her head, needs another layer. Is it Leia from Star Wars? Princess Leia? I only know one thing. This one is very wobbly on the clamp, so maybe it drops to the floor. Who knows? But I gotta say, it's astonishing how good this paint job looks. Can't talk. I mean, even now, the sad part is that for the longest time I cannot like assemble the kit, so the progress is still like imaginary. You have to look at those parts and think about it, how they might look on the finished model. It's not like I can just swap them around easily. So someone has to wait for the big rebuild. The rebuild of Evangelion. Wasn't it a thing? Like the rebuild of Evangelion? Was this a thing? Also gotta say, this gray I've mixed together is a very, very easy to handle color. Because there are some shades and some tones that are like totally hard to get right. Especially like white or very light colors. They are hard to apply. At least I think so. I always struggle with them. I always struggle with white. White. And of course, like glossy colors are much easier to handle. Too bad we can't really paint it glossy. Because the glossiness is that what we want to, you know, cover up, to remove the glossiness of those plastic kits. We just cover them with matte paint. And like, there's a funny story. When I built my first garage kit, also those resin anime figures, you have to like basically sand, glue and paint, and like at least 1/3 or 2/3 of the work is sanding, especially those lower tier kits that are basically just copies of a copy of a copy of a copy. And when I did one of my first garage kits, this was back in the day when a proper scale figure was hard to get and not really good in quality, so it made sense to strive for garage kits. I painted one of the girls' hair with a glossy color. So in the right color, at least somewhat right-ish, but the color was glossy. And honestly, I didn't think much of it. So for me it looked fine until I showed this to someone and they said like polite, yeah, that's a nice job for like a first try, but next time maybe paint the hair in a matte color, not glossy. And I was like, I looked at the garage kit, and then I looked at like other figures and characters, and I thought to myself like, yeah, good point actually. So, and the next kit I painted, I used matte color for the hair, and it looked way better. So yeah. Glossy is not really good for stuff like that. I mean, it can be like a statement. I I'm sure there are characters with glossy hair as a figure, but normally they are matte and shaded with some darker colors and lighter stuff. But then again, nowadays it's not necessary anymore to build a garage kit unless you're in the hobby, you like it. But since you can now buy crazy detailed and crazy lavish scale figures, it doesn't make much sense anymore. Okay, so this is like the third or fourth layer. I guess it's the fourth layer, and it starts to get good. So those parts are okay. I will now try to extend this line with the marker. So wish me luck. I need a success story to close out today's stream. Okay. Not so bad. The marker struggles a bit to write on the acrylic paint, but still. It works now. Okay. That was a bit too much, but I can still save this. What about those inner circles? Should I fill them with the marker? This part. Oh, that's actually quite good. Quite good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's repeat this once more on this side. Oh. Wouldn't it be ironic if in the last 5 minutes something fell to the floor, hit the ground? No, we can't do this. Oh. I messed up a bit. It's okay. Okay. Should I try this here as well? Okay. I mean, almost. Oh shit. Yeah. A bit. Could have been better. will paint this once again. Let's see. And then remove the tape, because I don't want to have it taped like this over the extended period of time. And then I try to cover up my small mistakes here, and then let's call it a day. I mean, this was quite a productive stream. I also now know that the setup is working, the new one. So the bot is working, the restream is working, the alert is working. I guess the counter works, but we didn't try this out because I didn't mess up and dropped something on the floor. So, yeah. Can't have it all. And until next Monday, I might come up with some new improvements on the stream. Small quality of life improvements. So that it gets better and better and better each and every stream. Also, it would be cool at some point, like in a couple weeks or month, to reach affiliate status, because most of the features are locked behind those goals. I mean, also, it's crazy how big those contact points are where the runner was hitting the piece. Was it called in English? I have to look this up, because in German it's the Anguspunkt. It doesn't have to do anything with like beef, even if it sounds like Angus beef, like the cow. No, it's Anguspunkt, because Punkt is point, and Angus is like, you know, where it touches the piece. Okay, I think I leave it like this, because if I do anything more, I will definitely make it worth. He said, and continued to paint. It's addicting. Just one more stroke. One more stroke. One tiny improvement, and shit. No, it's okay, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. I will show you the parts in a minute with the camera, what I've worked on today. It's already past midnight, And then after the stream, I can go outside and shovel a bit of snow shuffle. Maybe just remove it from my car, because I heard that at some point tonight snow will you know, transform into rain, into ice rain, and that wouldn't be fun if the windshield is frosted. I mean, the car is underneath a carport, but it's times like this in winter when I miss my garage. Because in Vienna it was just an apartment, but it had a underground garage. I mean, it did cost a bit each month, but it wasn't like expensive, crazy expensive. It was okay. Was good buck for the bang. Very. It was worth it. I'm trying to say. But now the car sits outside and gets dirty and gets cold. Poor little car. Luckily it's just a grocery getter. It's no fancy car, so it's okay, I guess. Okay. So how's the black part here? No, that's too much. Okay. It's hard to clip this on the board without touching the other parts too much, and god damn it. Okay. And what's here? Here still, what's this sound I make with my feet, or is it in the music? Sometimes this music is weird. Sometimes it has like real footage, not footage, but foliage in there, like steps or like children that laugh. It's kind of creepy sometimes. But then again, it surprises me how relaxing this is. Would have thought this is super boring with like only like generic lo-fi music in the background, but actually it's okay. I can live with that. I mean, it helps that I like hear myself talking. That's also why I thought streaming is a natural progression of this quirk. I talk to myself all the time, so why not do it on camera? But actually it's quite hard to like constantly talk and do stuff that requires also a bit of like brain power. So like in my situation, not only I have to concentrate on like painting, and then I have to come up with conversation topics, and then I have to translate them into English because I'm German, and yeah, this have to all happen at the same time, simultaneously, and then I also have to manage the stream on top, like get it all set up. And I wish I would like have the processing power of my PC, because the CPU is like in the 1% usage, but my brain is like on full usage. 2 less RAM in my brain to handle all of this. But hopefully we'll get better. I'm quite curious if the quality like gets better over time, and how long it will take to get a significant improvement in all those segments, not only the painting or the building, but also the talking and the technical side of things. So yeah, okay, let me just close the paints, because there is a bit of paint on my fingers, but not much. It's also a positive when building those kits. It's not as messy. When I built my what was it, like dioramas, it's quite messy. Okay, so this is a hand from the figure. Those are like plastic nubs going here, and my phone went out again, so I have to do this. Yeah, haha, I remembered what button does what on the keyboard. Okay, so let me see. Let me check. Okay, so here are the parts. I have to put them on the presentation. So this is the figure without everything. Here is the hair part, hairs, and here is the other hair part. Let's put her away. Okay, does she stand? I'm quite nervous. And here are the parts. So, should I? Can I get this a bit high up? It's not like I can move the camera. So, let's see. Okay, from like, get this a bit more in focus. Can I do this? Can I do this? Is this the right? No, this is. Yeah. Okay, so this is like one part I painted today. I started today. This is the head part, where we have like the let's see, it's like this, the circles on it. Looks like a small, like almost like a Millennium Falcon, and as you can imagine, those circles on it are pretty hard to get done. The marker was quite a good option for those. So yeah, and then this is the piece is like on her hip. It's like some sort of armor with the black stripe on it, and those small circles, they are also quite nasty to do, and there are lots of those. This part I actually quite like, because not only did I manage to get a good amount of ink into this middle part, this indent, I also like how the masking tape worked down there, because this shiny piece of gray is the original kit color, and I think I will let it like this, because at the photo it is also kind of this color. Can you see it here on her here? God, this is so less space here, like this. So it's not quite the right color, but then again the armor is also not quite right, and yeah. And so this part here in the middle, this big piece is from her head, the backside of her head. Just let me just, get me at the other camera. So it's like the back of her head. Yeah, and this looks nice. It's a good piece. It's an easy piece with no like need to mask a thing or two. And yeah, still I have so this is the piece where I have to remove the masking tape, I remember, because I didn't want to let it on. And also we can see how we did. It's now gray. Ooh. Yeah, it sticks to my finger. Should I use like this? Yeah, sticks quite heavy. It's good quality. Yes. Okay. Would you look at that? Gray on black. I mean, the black part is now a bit gray too, because I sanded it. Once I add the black color, it will be black again. But now it's like a really dark gray because of the sanding. But this also means that the paint will actually stick to the model. Okay, so those are the parts. There are still many parts left on her, like a whole arm, and then also the middle section on her belly or torso. And I don't know if I will remove them. I guess I will do, because let's be honest, yeah, otherwise it would be quite difficult to mask all of this. But I'm especially curious about the skirt, because the skirt for me looks the worst now with these shiny spots. And yeah, also like the feet. The feet are also much work to be done. So by the progress we made today in like 3 hours, I would say, or almost like 3 hours, okay, I would say this needs still like 4 or 5 more sittings until I can call this a day. But yeah, so let's see. Okay, so this concludes today's stream. Let me see if we can rate someone, if we can make a new friend. Let's see. Does it even matter? I mean, there is... Well, let's see if we can rate someone who's online, who does cool stuff, unlike me. Not many channels online. Let's see. So let's go here. That's good.